Okay, well, hello, and today I thought I'd start it off different. Start it off at the fish pool, so then I can just walk downhill instead of having to start down there and then walk all the way up here and then talk and then go all the way back down there. So, there's Buster, my dog. Here's the fish. They seem pretty happy. Why not? Nice big old goldies, and there's a catfish in there somewhere. Oh, there he is. Trippy, I can only see it in the reflection of my hand. You move it away, can't see it. Boom. He's probably 6 inches long. And I got a bunch of them. Boom, goldfish. Okay. So I did just drain off my nutrient tub earlier today, which I'll show off to you. Here's how everything goes. I put a new fitting here and I capped off that fitting, 2.5 inch lines now. So I got a little bit more water coming through. Looks like all the water really has settled down. It was a little murky earlier. And now you can see it's pretty clear. And of course, probably about the same in there. I've run a new overflow line from the fish tank. It's a 2-inch line. Here's the squash. Starting to show a little calcium. Please, calcium. I think. And there's calcium on the way. Don't you worry. It's coming. Hang on. And wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. We've got the blackberries. And, but they're not black quite yet, but they're gonna be. And in here, though, check it out. Boom. Here's some of the largest blackberries I've ever seen, thorned or not thorned. And down in here, boom. Like that. There's my finger. And it has put off a branch that way, a branch that way, a branch that way, which is super thick, a branch that way, and a little branch that way. So it's basically spreading out in every direction. While I'm over here, pumpkin is growing, it's starting to yellow up a little bit, dare I say, turning orange. Oh, here's another one of those thornless blackberry branches. And here's a pumpkin. Somebody, I'm not going to say who, but I think they're between the ages of 5 and 7. Male. Somebody put a nail into my pumpkin and then pulled it out and left a hole. And then it turned into kind of a scar. So that's what it is, but it doesn't seem to have affected the overall pumpkin. Life finds a way. And straw bibblies down in there. Boom, those are the AP strawberries. They're just hanging low. And this pumpkin plant is spreading out everywhere, saying, where else can I expand to? This is pretty nice. My pumpkin is Great Britain in the 1800s. Okay. And this plant is growing very well. Very hairy, buddy. A lot better than the last time I tried. Nice. Alright, and of course, I've got kale growing here, my strawberries, the other side of the strawberry forest. Got a, they call it a musk melon. Boom. Muskmelon. And it's got the tiniest little leaves. This is full grown, I think. And my Carolina berries, they're getting bigger. And what else is there? Oh boy, you zoom in. There is a squash. Nice. And a little baby next to it with blossom and rot. Calcium, another calcium issue. What a surprise. And well, it's because my water, I overflowed it, and then I drained it, and then I got all screwed up for my nutrients. Alright, enough complaining. Mullein, good for hacking coughs. Citronella, it found its feet, seems to have, and that is a strong smell. And that blue was my thumbnail. I got bored at work. Okay, orange tree coming along well. There's an orange, a green one. And I have another one in here. There we go. Now, I just redid the plumbing. Oh, I did lots of redoing the plumbing. Every grow bed gets its own water supply now. But the bathtub and a half barrel share a drainage. 1.25 inch drainage. Which can be seen. Boom. There's the half barrel, goes up and connects, and that little guy coming back and to the right, it goes to the bathtub. So they share a little 1.25 inch drain. That's the old 1.5 inch drain that was going into the barrel. And I redid this because every time that this barrel would kick a siphon off, it would send a surge of water through that 1.5 inch line, which actually drains these two grow beds too. So it was turning this into a very moist situation. The water would just overflow the top, and no way to seal it because it's just open on the top. So it's just a big pressure wave pushing up. Okay. Always nice to see this. This is, oh, I think it's acorn squash. Yep, in fact there's a little baby acorn squash growing right there. Butternut squash, butternut squash, I think that's it. The cilantro is finding life somehow. I think it's surviving because it's shaded by the butternut squash plant. The arugula type is surviving, and lots of it underneath there, just hanging out. My blackberry plant is surviving. This is one I dug up off the river bar, and it does have thorns on it, but it's also got good memories with it too, so hopefully it survives. And yeah, hopefully it survives. Boom. This is a marshmallow plant, and I'm not sure how I could really use it, but I just thought it was so neat to have a marshmallow plant, so I went ahead and got it. And I think that this is a cucumber, and these are lemon cucumbers with tiny little baby lemon cucumbers on them. How cute. And that one is ripe. Overripe almost. Huh. My raspberry bush, the queen, my queen diva. Boom. We got some weird looking berries in here. Maybe my nutrient levels weren't right, or maybe something else. But I got a lot of normal looking berries too, so I'm hoping that whatever caused that, maybe, or maybe it's not even a problem and the other leaves are gonna pop up too, and I mean these little sub berries. So we'll see how it goes. First time growing these ones. I buried the whole cane in the grow bed. And of course the tomatoes are getting crazy, growing like crazy. We got lots of tomatoes in here, up there, everywhere, everywhere. Onions doing good. I put the beans in and they seem to be doing okay, except not. And look, also I found Mr. Snail. You gotta get out of here, Mr. Snail. Okay. What this is a jackfruit tree. So hopefully I will be getting giant watermelon-sized fruits. And cherry tomatoes everywhere, everywhere. I mean, you look at all the flowers and there's as many cherry tomatoes already going green, starting to turn orange. Cucumber. There's a cucumber in there, but it's covered by a tomato plant. And then we got some bell peppers and poblano peppers and jalapeno peppers. There's a little pepper right in there. Boom. Okay, can't get distracted though. Back to this side. Now I got this plant at the same time as I got that other one. And you can see the difference in appearance, in development. Amazing. Could be partly due to the shade from the trellis above it. It could be due to the hydroton that's in the grow bed. So don't know. And the peas, there's the peas. And yeah, they seem happy. I'd say they're about 6.5 feet tall now, some of them. And once they grabbed onto the raspberry, they made quick progress. And here we got, boom, there's a pea, ready to go. And all my everything, red currant, and that's got lots and lots of new growth sprouting from everywhere on it, which is always so fun. And my basil plant, but now the basil's being shaded by the kale. So I might have to take the kale out. There's the kale. I kind of leave the kale in there, not because I like kale so much, but because I think it gives the bugs something else to eat besides my other plants. So a little bit for me, a little bit for them. And another cucumber. I think this is mildew or powdery mildew. I'm not sure. I don't really care because I've got so many cucumbers. I just don't care. So, okay. There's my jalapeno plant, which is just this little guy right here. And this big boy right in here is, check it out, poblano plant. 1, 2, maybe 3. Well, and then we got a couple little babies sprouting up there on top. Oh man, I'm gonna be swimming in poblanos. And of course we've got the these tomatoes are just huge, getting on huge. Again, first time on this one, this kind of tomato, so we'll see how huge it gets. Here's another jackfruit tree. And I really didn't want to plant these jackfruits in grow beds, except I want to put them in their own grow bed. But I ordered them before I had a grow bed for them, and then I stuck them in the orange tree grow bed, and they were not happy in that because I hadn't taken them out of their plastic containers, so they were, I would say, strangulating or something. It wasn't good for their roots, so then I pulled them out. I planted them properly, because you can see when I got them, all the leaves were all green like this, and now we've got like rusty. It's like a rust color. This one a little bit. So it just wasn't getting what it needed, so it was pulling it from its leaves and telling me, hey. So I got the message. And this is lemon cucumber, I think. Lemon cucumber. And the hope is, probably not, but maybe, that once this cherry tomato is done, I'll be able to just pull this lemon cuke up there and let it continue growing. So that's my system. We got a new 2-inch drainage. This is my plumbing. Greatly simplified from a couple months ago. So here is the water supply, 2-inch water supply. This is a bypass if I want to go from the fish tank directly into the sump. I just open this up and it all drains through. So it's kind of like having a dual loop system, but not, because it's kind of like a dual loop inline dual loop system. So I can bypass the grow beds only. I can't bypass the fish tank. Oh, that's an idea though. Okay, so anyway, this 2-inch, and then it goes in there and back there and up, back there and then there, boom, up, and that serves the bathtub and the orange tree barrel and also this white grow bed. All the overflow from after all the other holes, all the other feeds, all the other grow beds are fed by water. Whatever's left gets pushed up to the top and then flows into this grow bed, and it comes out through this pipe here. Now, in order to tune my recent changes to the drainage for the bathtub and the barrel, they both come out through this pipe. I had to turn down the amount of water that was going into those barrels, so that increased the amount of water that was going into this grow bed, which was actually too much for my gravel because it's getting a little clogged, I think, with solids. So then it started overflowing. So then I opened up this valve, which reduced the overall flow in the system. Not the overall system, but in the grow bed side. Instead of everything that was going to come down here and just all going this way, I'm taking a little bit off, which means that not quite as much is being pushed up to the top and into this grow bed. It's not very complicated. Okay, the water, I got 2 pipes underground. Boom. There's my overflow that I've got capped off so it won't actually overflow, because why not? Let's see how we... Boom. Now it'll overflow properly into my drainage hole, or because my overflow set a little bit lower, if it's a little too high but I don't really want to lose that water, I can just set it like that and gain a few inches. But then I gotta watch out, because if it does overflow, it's just gonna overflow around one of my sump tanks. And I had a real trouble with this sump tank, because as I drained some water out of the nutrient tub last week, and then in the end of the video that I was taking, I said, oh, I just have to add some more water with the garden hose, I'll do that later. Well, actually I did it right after the video, and then I left it, I was on lunch, I went back to work 4 hours later, came back, and I had left the hose running in here. It overflowed down here. There's a cavity around this sump tank where the dirt has been falling away from the sump tank, or it was never pushed in against it. Kind of see a little bit. And so that all filled with water, and the hole the sump tank was sitting in is deeper than the level of water in the sump tank, so that made the whole thing float. So that wasn't good, because it's floating, but it's got 2 connections down below into pipes that go through the dirt. And so it was really messed up. And I had to stand on it while I had the water going in here. I put hose water in here to make it heavier, so it was set down on the ground again. And then, yeah. So anyway, we don't want water to overflow the sump tanks, because it turns out bad. Alright, so there's the bathtub drainage. Now this line is the drainage just from those 2 white grow beds over there, 1 and 2. Comes out this line, over into here. Boom, done. So this tank and this tank are always getting water fed into them, and that's pushing water into the central tank or tub. That's then that's where the pump is. So there's always moving water. If I didn't have it situated like this, then I would have stagnant water in the sides here, 1 and 2, and that probably would not be great for overall system health. Oh, but maybe. It's an idea anyway. Leave 1 tank isolated and run just a tiny flow through it and see if we're turning out nutrients. Kind of like this nutrient sump tank. I don't know. It's just an idea. I have lots of ideas, but you know, you got to go through 9 bad ones before you get to a good one, in my experience. Nutrient tub was a pretty good idea, though. Alright, signing off until next time.